Hello, this is James Robert Deal, and today is December the 16th, 2017. I'd like to say a few words to give you an overview of what I do as a real estate broker. I am not only a real estate broker, I'm also a real estate attorney, and I'm a musician as well, and composer, and I'm politically involved. I'll give you links to all of my websites here in just a minute. So the question that you should ask yourself is, why should you use James as your real estate broker? And the quick and easy answer is that I've been doing this for 35 years, and I've been writing transactions, escrowing transactions. I've been a mortgage broker. I'm still a mortgage broker, inactive. I do commercial mortgages when that comes up. I've written hundreds of transactions. I've closed thousands of transactions. And you know, all those forms advise you to consult with independent counsel, but almost nobody does until they get in trouble. And so then they have to go out in the middle of the transaction and check things with an attorney. I know a lot of times I've had people come to me right before they sign the final escrow papers and ask me to look them over, and I have to tell them, well, you should have come to me when you first started this process. I could have helped you to avoid this mess. So, if I'm your real estate broker, your listing broker, or your selling broker, I'm giving you legal advice for no extra charge if I'm your broker, as long as the advice or the documents relate to this particular transaction. So I've done quitclaim deeds for people to get an ex-husband off the title and advised people about liens, then discussed it with the title company and tried to straighten things out. And I've also dealt with people who own their property in the name of an LLC that's lapsed, and so we have to get the title out of the LLC and clear that up. I could go on with examples, but when you have an attorney, there's several things that happen. One is you sleep better. Two, if anything comes up, you know you're covered, because I'm going to be watching this transaction from the very beginning to the very end. I'll track it all the way through all the stages: property inspection, writing the deal, reviewing the deal, going through it carefully with you, inspection phase, getting to closing, doing extensions when necessary, holding the transaction together, and following everything through escrow until it's all done. Another advantage is that people seem to take you more seriously if you have an attorney working for you. So if you're a seller, it might help you to get a better price. If you're a buyer, it might help you to get a more reasonable price, or to get the seller to make concessions. I'll also work with your lender, try to make sure that your loan is going through. What I like to do with my clients is give them a free consultation. Let's get together person to person here in my home office, or we can talk over the phone. 425-774-6611. The need for an attorney comes up more and more often because there are many more times these days when you have multiple offers. Now you're advised, all the forms advise you that if you've got multiple offers, whether you're a buyer or seller, you really should have an attorney involved, because real estate brokers are only authorized to use fill-in-the-blank forms. And there's just some things you can't get into a fill-in-the-blank form. I'm also do a lot of assistance to brokers. So brokers call me up when they've got a difficult transaction and they ask me to get involved. And sometimes I work for the buyer by the hour, by the seller by the hour, or I can work for a percentage because I'm also a broker, a 0.5% or 1%, and it just depends on how much needs to be done. I will often take my fee at closing, and people really like that. Now, let me tell you about my other websites. I have WashingtonAttorneyBroker.com, which talks about the different roles that I can be involved in. For example, buyers and sellers come to me when they have been lucky enough to find each other without the assistance of a broker. They need to have the deal written up, and they need to have the deal sent to title ordered. They need to have it sent to escrow and have somebody follow it through to closing. So I help for sale by owner people. Now, my other websites, WashingtonAttorneyBroker.com and then MortgageModificationAttorney.com. There's a dashes in there. Mortgage-Modification-Attorney.com. So when the recession hit, I got into doing foreclosure defense and mortgage modification, helping people to save their homes. I still am available to do that work. My wife helps me with these because it involves a lot of calling to the lenders, and you have to keep knocking on their door and make sure they're working on the file. You have to read their minds to figure out what it's going to take to get the modification, and you have to know whether the ratios are right to qualify for modification. So pass the word if you know anybody who's gotten behind and they need to save their home. My wife and I do mortgage modifications and mediations. My wife is a real estate broker as well, and a lot of times people like working with a woman. I know a lot of the women prefer to work with a woman, and my wife is very attentive to detail. So we generally do everything together, and I see that as a strong advantage. If I'm busy, she can take the call and see what's going on and what needs to be done. I also have a website at jamesrobertdeal.org. Now that's my political website. I run for office every year. It does great things for my spirit because I have a lot of political issues that I feel very deeply about, and I'm doing the best I can to raise these issues. So far I haven't won anything, but that's okay. My point is to put the other politicians on the spot and make them answer important questions. For example, Seattle is now going through the throes of installing so-called smart meters, and these can be hacked. They're insecure. They raise your utility bill, and they irradiate you with unnecessary microwave radiation. It's like having multiple cell phones all around your head all the time. And the smart meters catch fire. And so I'm representing a group that's opposing smart meters. They're coming to Snohomish County probably in about 3 years. And you can check out my website at fluorideclassaction.com. Fluoride-class-action.com. FLUORIDE. And fluoride is toxic waste that's put in our drinking water under the false claim that it's good for your teeth. It might be slightly beneficial to preventing cavities, but there are better ways to prevent tooth decay, and the stuff is slow poison, especially bad for the fetus. So I invite you to give me a call. Let's have a free consultation. Consider me as your listing broker, as your selling broker, as your for sale by owner broker. I also do commercial mortgages and seller finance deals. If you're a landlord and you would like to give your tenant an option to buy, I can set that up for you, and I know the rules. The advantage to the seller is that you will get an earnest money payment, and you'll probably get a higher rent, and you'll probably get a better quality tenant, and they will be responsible to take care of all the repairs during the option period. If they don't buy it, you get to keep the earnest money. Now, if you're a buyer, the nice thing about entering into a lease option deal is you can get a fixed price, and you're usually going to get a 5-year term. So I encourage 5-year terms because, number one, the Dodd-Frank Act appears to require that. And also, sometimes people need that much time in order to clean up their credit. Now, some sellers say they don't want to have it go on that long, and one of the solutions is to offer a reduction in price if the buyer cashes out early. So there are too many issues for me to discuss. The point of this recording is to introduce myself, and I should invite you to visit my other website, which is called What to Serve a Goddess When She Comes for Dinner. It's a book about how men can become cooks and how we can cook vegetables and make vegetables taste good, because we need to eat more greens. It makes you healthy and helps you to live longer. And that website is whattoserveagoddess.com. And if you'll go to that website, you can look for the drop down and music by Jimmy Deal. As a musician, I go by my dad's name, which was Jimmy Deal. He was a professional musician, a singer and a drummer. I've enjoyed talking with you, and I hope you give me a call at 425-774-6611. If you sign up for my emails, if you go to jamesrobertdeal.com, it's very easy to sign up for my emails, and I will send you an email whenever I'm going to have a radio program. Typically, I do the radio programs Sunday evenings at 8 o'clock. At 8 o'clock, I'll talk about real estate, and then at 9 o'clock, I'll talk about political issues. So you can listen to one or the other or both. So I'll sign out here with one of my favorite songs, which I play on the piano. And thanks for listening.